Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rachel Helms. I am one of the assistant directors at the MTSU Alumni Relations Office. I want to welcome you to our second Lunch and Learn virtual conversation. It's a joint venture between Alumni Relations and the College of Behavioral and Health Sciences. Dr. Peter Grandjean, the Dean of Behavioral and Health Sciences, will be talking about some exciting things going on in the nutrition and public health programs. And it'll include some updates also from our faculty and our students. But first, I just wanted to say thank you for joining us today. We want to continue to engage with alumni like you and to keep you updated on what's going on with our students. And we'll be talking about some opportunities for you to come back to campus in a couple of weeks for our Alumni Spring Showcase, which this year is from April 9th to the 19th. If you're curious, you can go to mtalumni.com // spring showcase for a list of events. And so now on to our topic. As Dean of the College of Behavioral and Health Sciences, Dr. Grandjean oversees the second largest college at MTSU. The college seeks to improve the health and well-being of people and communities across Middle Tennessee and the region. Dr. Peter Grandjean, thank you and welcome.
Hey, Rachel, thank you. The best part about these lunches and learning sessions is that you all get to kind of eat and kind of hang out while we're kind of sharing some of the great things that are going on in the College of Behavioral and Health Sciences. Folks, I just want to start off by saying that I work with some of the most amazing colleagues in our college, and our faculty, staff, and students every day just wow me. We have blazed trails and we've charted new territory all year long. We almost need a Grammy Award-like ceremony to recognize all of the good work and really all the exciting happenings that are going on across our college from our faculty and our students alike. And if you don't mind, I would just like to start off today by just sharing some of the most recent happenings. First of all, Dr. Chandra Story, who served as our interim chair in health and human performance, is leading the university's quality enhancement plan. And as part of our reaffirmation with our regional accrediting body, we have to come up with a quality enhancement plan, something that would enhance all of our students, not only their educational happenings, but preparing them for their professions. And so our new plan at Middle Tennessee State University is really oriented towards career readiness. And Dr. Story has led efforts to select that topic, and now she's leading efforts to implement this plan. So kudos to Dr. Story and her committee for taking this on. Dr. Sarah Harris, and I can say that now, Sarah Harris just recently defended her dissertation under the direction of Dr. Bethany Rye. And actually, that was a really nice interdisciplinary project. Elizabeth Smith, who is here today with us, was also part of that dissertation effort. But Dr. Harris has been featured throughout the year on our Local on 2 segments about nutrition and healthy eating, and she gives tips to us on a regular basis. Her most recent one was on red dye in our food, red dye number 3. She can correct me if I'm wrong, but how that's detrimental to our health. Some of our students in the Textiles Merchandising and Design program, Gwyneth Sintek and Rebecca Fry, are leading efforts to present our runway show, this year's 2025 runway show, and it's on April the 12th. So our students are leading this effort. It's a fantastic show. I can't wait to see it myself, and I believe tickets are still on sale for that event. I wanted to also highlight Dr. Rebecca Oldham and the Human Development and Family Sciences faculty and some of the colleagues from across campus. They've been conducting a panel series on family violence, really exploring some topics that really need to be at the forefront of our observation and how to deal with some of those. So their first two panels were held on March the 17th. That one was on domestic violence, stalking, and sexual assault. And then yesterday, they held a panel on child abuse. Their last one will be this coming Monday, March the 31st, and they'll talk about elder abuse. So come check that out. It's here on campus, and there's plenty of parking around our main building. It's the academic classroom building, and the panels are held in room 106. So come check us out. That's in the later afternoon, if you will. One last feature is our John Police honoree or award winner for 2025, and that's Dr. Carmelita Dotson from social work. And she was awarded the John Police Award because this honors individuals that demonstrate a commitment to making a difference in the academic journeys of our underserved and at-risk students. And Dr. Dotson has been doing this for years, and this is a well-deserved recognition for her. We're going to celebrate that, I believe, this coming Thursday here on campus in the James Union building. So these are just some folks that have been highlighted here recently, but they represent the body of work that's going on in our college by most of our faculty and students. So thank you for letting me share a little bit there. Now what I'd love to do is have Dr. Kaylor Stone from our public health program introduce our featured student. Dr. Stone?
Thank you, Dean Grandjean. Again, my name is Kaylor Stone, and I am one of the coordinators in our public health program here. And so I get to work with amazing students in our Master of Public Health program. We have a student here with us today, Huda Al-Hamad, who is going to share a little bit about her experience in the program. I'll let her explain why and what she's doing in the program, but I just want to pause and say that she is an exemplary student that we have, and she goes above and beyond. She is the brightness that we hope that our students all carry out of the program when they go into the field. And so I think she's going to be a great display to you all to see what our public health students are like here and what they're getting involved in. So Huda, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Doctor. My name is Huda Al-Hamad, and I'm an MPHU student. I first want to express that I'm honored to be here today to represent the Master of Public Health students. Briefly, I want to share what bring me into the field of public health. I studied to be a medical lab scientist, and I worked here a bit on the public health lab in Nashville. This is what introduced me to the public health itself. And I'm still interested in epidemiology, especially. And as a mother, maternity and child health has special place in my heart. One of the things that I found most valuable about the MPH program here is that with each course, we are given opportunity to gain insights into what we will do with our degree when we graduate. So I have a couple examples that I can give, but with every class, we provide us with a chance to work with real life data and tackle real life problems. What I presented in Scholars Week last week on Friday was part of biostatistic class that I did the assignment for. And this experience allowed me to apply the knowledge that I gained in that class to interrupt and deal with data that is provided and to really understand what's the numbers mean, what we will do about it, and how to communicate with the scientific community versus the public to interrupt what we are finding. This all was part of one of the classes. Another example comes from Dr. Stone's epidemiology class, where we had opportunity to connect with other professions to see their knowledge about outbreak. So we're not in our own place. We're connecting to other professions. We're seeing where gaps in knowledge are. We're assessing what public really need to know, how they view health, so we can step in and we can fill in those gaps as a public health professions. And with each course, we're connecting dots. It's not that each course is individual by itself. We're with each course, I feel like I'm building on a knowledge that I have, which is great for me as a student. And also, for most of the students, they're have this big question mark, what I will do when I graduate. And luckily, we have a great faculties that they're guiding us through. I can go to anyone's door at any time and I'll be like, I don't know what I'm doing and what I'll be doing. And they will let us explore what our interests are by expose us to different parts of the public health field and what we could do and all that great stuff. So I don't want to take much time talking, but this is what I will leave time for if you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Huda. And if anybody has questions, go ahead and feel free to jump in.
You're also welcome to drop any questions in the chat as well. I can read them out.
All right. Huda, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. That was fabulous. And Huda was part of many students who presented their research and their scholarship last week during Scholars Week. And across our college, we had 12 student award winners that came from that, and we had several faculty that participated in the process, really helping to our students to understand the research process, concepts from conceiving an idea all the way to the data collection and interpretation of that. And some of our faculty that were recognized are Dr. Catherine Blankenship from Speech and Language Pathology and Audiology, Dr. Davis, who is here with us today, or excuse me, Dr. Dr. Smith, Dr. Rebecca Oldham, Angie Bowman, Jennifer Kaplan. These are just some of the faculty that are regularly contribute to the research enterprise and getting students engaged in that. So thank you to them. What we'll do now is take a pivot. This is something that is absolutely exciting to me because it's cutting edge in our academic disciplines and the way we deliver courses and the way we collaborate. Dr. Kaylor Stone and Elizabeth Smith are part of a faculty group that over the last few, I guess a couple of years or so in the conception of this idea, have designed a program that really, for all intents and purposes, is going to change the shape and the way that education happens, perhaps in many of our clinical programs, but certainly in public health and dietetics. And so what I'd like to do is open up the meeting to listening to Dr. Stone and Dr. Smith describe this new program. First, what I'll do is get you all to kind of share with us what this program is about, and then what occurred to you or what you observed that made you think that this might be the best way forward. So, Dr. Smith, you want to start us off?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Starting in January of 24, all students that go through any kind of a dietetics program have to have a graduate degree. And that is something new. We have always had students graduate in our bachelor's program and then go on to do an internship, which was about 1,000 hours of internship. But as of January 1st of 24, now they also, in addition to the internship, have to have a graduate degree. So what our accrediting body has done, and they've come up with a new model, they call it the future education model. And that model is where you take your graduate classes and you kind of integrate them with the experiences that students are getting. So they no longer call this program an internship, they call it supervised experiential learning. And through that process, as they learn, they're also doing the different rotations. And so the whole concept is that they will actually learn what they're doing even better than before. And so as looking at kind of designing whether I wanted to go with this type of a program, because we've always had an outstanding undergrad program, and we've always sent students off to get an internship and then to get a graduate degree. I really wanted to look at the outcomes from the trials of this program and seeing whether or not students were passing the CDR, the exam that you have to take to become a registered dietitian, with any higher rate than students that went through the regular traditional route. And we have got data now, and it is showing that students that are doing this FEM graduate type program are having a higher rate of passing the exam. So with that, I started looking at how we could make this happen at MTSU. And we've done kind of a lot of different things. The first thing was trying to decide what kind of a master's program we wanted to do. Through dietetics and our accrediting body, it doesn't matter what type of master's that you get currently. We think that that eventually may change, but right now they said it could be in anything. And so the first thing we did was we approached the health faculty, because one of the things in dietetics that has become very, very popular is the master's in public health. We've had a lot of dietitians throughout the years prior to needing a graduate degree decide to get their graduate degree in their future education in the public health arena. So we approached Kaler and their team and asked whether or not that would be something they would be willing to partner with us to offer a master's of public health. So I can let Kaler talk about that if he wants to, or their reaction to us coming to them.
Sure, yeah. So when we started these conversations, and to say it was me, it wasn't just me, as Liz knows, it was a number of us in the graduate faculty in our program, Dr. Andrew Owusu, Dr. Angie Bowman, Dr. Bethany Rye, and myself were kind of those that were at the table. And so when Dr. Colson and Dr. Smith from nutrition came and we started having this conversation, it was a very, very much oh, this makes perfect sense. We've always had a lot of cross-pollination between the nutrition program here at MTSU and our undergraduate and graduate program in public health. So there's already been a good working relationship, and within our own interdisciplinary PhD, we've seen a collaboration there. So when they brought this forward as an option, we thought that this was just a home run. Let's figure out how to make it work. And one of the things that I think Dr. Smith might could talk to here just a second is the trickiness of the accreditation process. So our MPH program, the public health program, the undergraduate degree and the graduate degree in public health are both accredited with the Council on Education for Public Health. So it's a national standard. That's what we just went through that. We are now a fully accredited program. So we are an accredited public health program. And now we are adding this concentration into the MPH, which is going to have its own additional accreditation. So maybe you can talk some about where we're at with that and maybe where we're headed with that.
So yes, we are accredited through the Accreditation Council on Nutrition and Dietetics. And so as Kaler said, that makes it a little bit more complicated, but because of their accreditation, we were able to write all of that into our general application. So our initial application, I was trying to think back when we started all of this, actually started in fall of 24 when we started writing a lot of this. And so we did an initial candidacy application, and we approached one particular internship and were not successful in trying to kind of get a partnership with them. And so we decided at that point to do 12 remote students, and it wasn't really our preference. We were really concerned about how to find the rotation sites and the preceptors for those students. They would be living kind of all over, so we were going to hire a coordinator to kind of help us in that process. But that's a challenge because a lot of times preceptors are already working with another internship. They're not willing to take on students, and they have to have 1,000 hours out in the field. So while I was writing this candidacy application, which took quite a while, I was actually approached by the director of the dietetics program from Vanderbilt. And I had done my homework a little bit and knew that she had an MPH as well. And so when she was asking kind of what we were thinking of doing in the future, similar kind of an issue. Enrollment has kind of been down with the master's requirement. They've had a program, an internship only. They have no undergrad program since 1929, and they have taken up to 20 interns. They have a very successful, very strong internship program. And so when she approached me and kind of asked what we were doing, and I started talking about our MPH, she asked if we were planning to partner. And I said, well, at this point, we're doing this remote. We're not real excited. And she said, would you be willing to consider partnering with us? And of course, I didn't want to scream and yell, but absolutely. So I was writing messages on the weekend telling everybody in the world, we make it to partner with Vanderbilt. So she took that to her director. Long story short, we have been working with them now since last January. We submitted our candidacy application in June 28th, I guess it was, February we started. June 28th, we submitted our candidacy application. We got approved for that in August. And then we started since then writing our self-study. Our self-study had to be a 3-part PDF. We had to have an MOU with Vanderbilt. We have to have a handbook with Vanderbilt. We also have to do a competency map. So that is one of the unique things about our program. It is a competency-based training. And so basically it's to get students prepared to be entry-level practitioners. So there are 7 different domains. We have 37 competencies and 155 performance indicators that we have to show students either at the know level, the shows level, or the does level. So what we will be doing is we'll be integrating our classes as we teach them whatever topic. So for example, when I teach medical nutrition therapy, I will teach, for example, one student will be doing renal, while another student's doing cardiac, while another student's doing critical care, another student's doing peds. So I'll have 10 different students doing 10 different modules, but while I'm teaching them that topic, they'll be over at Vanderbilt and they'll be doing whatever I'm teaching them. So if I'm teaching them peds, they'll be over at the Children's Hospital learning under the preceptors doing peds. They have 65 preceptors that have been working with their program for years. And so we'll have 2 different cohorts. We're going to take up to 20 students. We'll have 2 different cohorts either doing the clinical route or doing the community and food systems route, and then they'll flip-flop. So our program will start in the summer of 26, pending our accreditation. So we have submitted our self-study. We should hear from their board in July of 26, and then we're going to have a huge ribbon cutting celebration. And then we're going to really start to market our program. And we're just thrilled to death. We feel like it's going to be probably one of the best programs in the nation.
This is absolutely exciting. And it is because there's no other program like this that you know of anyway across the country. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, you mentioned 1,000 hours. Can you, and over 7 different areas, correct? Is that, and so tell me a little bit about 1,000 hours. Help us wrap our mind around how arduous that is to get.
So students in the summer will take 4 classes, but not do really any on the ground hours. Starting in the fall, we'll have 2 cohorts. So if the cohort is with me, they'll be doing their medical nutrition therapy, and they will get about 500 hours. So they'll do 40-hour weeks during our 15-week semester. They'll get their break, and then they'll switch and then do the opposite. They'll do the community and the food systems that second semester. We're going to have them work on a capstone project while they're with me doing the medical nutrition therapy. And then that will be in the final semester where they'll present a patient and they will write a case study on that patient, and they will do education material for them and then do an oral presentation to all the preceptors and all the faculty.
See, that's just simply amazing. And so at the same time, these students will be taking classes as part of their master's in public health. Kaylor, is that a completely online program? And if so, just tell me a little bit about how you all have envisioned that overlaying with the 1,000 hours of clinical work.
Sure. Yeah. So when we started the conversation looking at the mapping and the courses that were going to be involved to meet, the accreditation and the core requirements for a public health degree, as well as all of these 1,000 hours and where they're going to get them with the dietetics concentration for that credential, we really had to do a lot of work, and the MPH program director, Dr. Bowman, has spent countless hours along with Dr. Smith thinking through how we're going to map and make this possible for all the students. To answer your question, these students that come in and study dietetics in the public health program, so these are public health students that are studying dietetics, they can do all of their classes online. At the same time, we do have in our public health program, we have on-ground classes and hybrid classes for our community health concentration. So when dietetics comes on board in 2026, like Dr. Smith said, we'll have two functioning concentrations in the public health program. You can come in and get your Master of Public Health and Community Health, which is going to have more on-ground classes and some hybrid classes, but also some online. And then there's 6 core classes to get your public health degree, and then you concentrate into your area. So those 6 courses, which is program planning, epidemiology, biostatistics, systems of nation health, and I'm missing another one in there, environmental health that I teach, yes. And so you'll take these core public health classes, and Dr. Smith has done a lot of work with Dr. Bowman and how we get those classes throughout their degree program to really provide them with that public health foundation that they can then attach to their specific program of study in the dietetics.
What I love about this isn't just, a drive-by collaboration. This has taken hours and days and weeks and months and years to kind of conceptualize and to put together, not just within our own house, but then, Dr. Smith, that it's always wonderful to be innovative, but then to find a partner to be as innovative as you at Vanderbilt too, that's just simply amazing. So this is really a true team effort with multiple faculty on board and willing to do this. It's simply, it's just simply amazing. You mentioned, Dr. Smith, earlier that in this program from the dietetic side, there's going to be about 155 indicators that are going to be measured through know, show, and does. And what I thought about that, and I thought, what this whole program, what we know from it is our faculty are experts and innovative. And what it shows is that collaboration works. And what it does is sets our students up for tremendous success, gives them a leg up in this realm. One of the things I think that probably helped establish at least the observation and the thought process in developing this program was how the dietetics program, how there'd been a decrease in enrollment in dietetics programs across the country. Do you want to speak to that for just a second and how this program really addresses that?
There has, and that really has started since the master's requirement, we think, as well as, nationwide enrollments down in a lot of different areas. But Vanderbilt was facing that same issue. They could take up to 20 interns and normally would have, applications of 500 to 600 students. And the last couple of years, they've had between 7 and 8 students in their program. So really, they were also trying to figure out and strategize on a way to be able to increase their enrollment. They initially had partnered with Peabody, their own university, to be able to get their master's, and it was going to be in human development, but it was just cost prohibitive. So that was another one of the reasons why looking at our program and then looking at what Vanderbilt could offer would be we're really hoping it will be very attractive to students and that our enrollment will definitely go up.
It's fantastic. How many hours exactly? If I wanted to do this, I know I'm gonna have to come into it with demonstrating that I'm a high achieving student and a prospect. That's for sure. But then now I really want to be in this program, and so how many hours is it going to take for me to graduate?
So that's another thing that is really nice about our program, and it's another reason really that we're going to this FEM model, is you can come in with any bachelor's degree as long as you have the prerequisites needed. So because there is a shortage of dietitians and we're really having trouble getting dietitians to go into the field, you can come in with, there are 7 sciences that you have to take and 4 nutrition classes. Beyond that, it can be any degree. So we're hoping to get people from exercise science. We're hoping to get people from health. We're hoping to get people that, are coming in from biochemistry or sociology or, any area that is interested in dietetics, but then they will take those prereqs, those 11 classes, and then they can apply to our program.
And
So
then
it's
once I
7
get in,
sciences, it's chemistry 1 and 2, organic chemistry, biochemistry, A&P 1 and 2, and micro, and then 4 different nutrition classes.
okay, so I was right when I said that you have to demonstrate you're going to be a high achieving student and pretty good. Now, once I get in, how many hours is the total program?
It's 42 credit hours and then 1,000 hours of SEL.
I mean, to me, that is fantastic because the way you all described it, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be, I'll start at 24 and I'm going to be 35 by the time I get out of this program. But it's really not the case at all, right?
No,
If
it's
somebody was
16
full-time,
months.
how
Yeah,
many?
it's 16 months. It's 16 months. We go summer, May to the following August.
So it's very intense, but you're talking about just a little less than a year and a half.
Right.
That's just absolutely fantastic. Taylor, Dr. Stone. So is now you're gonna laugh at this question, but you've got some students that are really engaged and really interested. This is really designed, it seems to be for a practitioner. Somebody's going to get out and work with people in the clinical setting, but you also have some that may be like Huda and want to do research. So is there a thesis option from the MPH side of things in addition to the clinical hours?
That's a great question. And it's a 42 required minimum, like Dr. Smith just said. There is an option to do a thesis. And so when students enroll into the MPH program, they can select to do a thesis with their concentration. And in that, they essentially have 2 semesters. It's really a semester and a half where they're really working on their thesis, and they would work with a faculty member and it would count as one of their courses. Instead of taking an extra elective course, they would take a thesis course, and they could spend their time really researching, honing their skills, and really putting a product together that might set them up. If they don't want to go straight into some kind of practice, they may be wanting to go on to do more study into a PhD or some other type of research setting. This thesis option really provides those select students that really want to get their hands on that. And I'll just make a plug here. Huda is one of those. She wants to do her thesis, and we've already had many conversations about what she wants to do, and we've had those conversations in our office. We haven't nailed it down yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah, this is fantastic because I can only imagine if I'm doing 1,000 hours, and I keep saying 1,000 hours, but if I'm really in the clinical setting going through these rotations, I can't help but be curious, and that's going to spur some questions that I'm going to ask my professors and potentially lead to some really cutting edge research in this area, or interdisciplinary research in these areas. So that's great that option is available. Anything else that you all want to share about the program? Anything more that you want to say that will kind of shed light on this brand new opportunity?
The only thing I would add about the public health program in general, and with dietetics, becoming a concentration, this is going to broaden the horizons of the MPH program. The goal of the public health program is to add more concentrations, and there will be additional expertise and interdisciplinary work to come in the years coming. And so there's already a lot of work on the background into this work. So nutrition and dietetics is very exciting, and we're so excited that that's happening. But more to come.
So I've got two quick questions related to that. I'm a student. I'm going to get my MPH, and I'm also going to have my dietetics credentials. That leads to being a registered dietitian, correct? And so, what degree I get a degree from MTSU in public health, right? And so all students, Vanderbilt students and MTSU students will get this degree, the master MPH from MTSU. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then all students will get their dietetics credentials from Vanderbilt. How does that work?
No, it's from MTSU because
Everything?
the supervised experiential learning is actually embedded into our classes. So the actual degree will be an MTSU MPH dietetic concentration.
And do Vanderbilt students, this is advertised at the Vanderbilt, on Vanderbilt's sites too. So if you're a Vanderbilt student, you're still going to get your MTSU degree, right? Is that correct?
Any students that we accept into the program, yes.
Okay, so everybody listening, you need to recruit students into this. You need to send them our way. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's just fabulous how you all have designed this. Now, the last thing I would ask then is when you develop swag, I mean, what colors are we going to have in our logo? Is it going to stay true blue? We're going to be
True
a little
blue.
bit of blue, a little bit of black and gold.
All blue.
Okay. That's what we like to hear. Yay. Anyway, thank you all for being here today, and thank you all for describing that program. And before we close out, let me ask if there's any questions for Dr. Stone, Dr. Smith, from the folks that are listening.
I am going to go ahead and open everybody's microphones, but go ahead and please type stuff in the chat as well. That way, make sure everybody's got that. Okay, you all should be able to use your mic if you have a question. And we do have a question that's being typed. The question is, what was the second concentration? I heard Dr. Stone say one was community health, but missed the second one.
The current concentration that we have is you can get a Master of Public Health with a concentration in community health. The second concentration is this dietetics concentration, which is what we're talking about.
If there's any additional questions, you can just undo your mic. Otherwise, just drop it in the chat. I think you guys have done a wonderful job.
They did. They've done a fabulous job. And I was excited before I listened to this. I'm even more excited right now. Let's what we want to do before we just close out completely today is just talk about some upcoming events that are really headed up by folks in our college. Rachel, do you want to talk a little bit about the alumni showcase, and then we'll talk about what we're doing as part of that?
Sure, of course. So we have an annual alumni spring showcase that we put on every year. This year it's from April 9th to the 19th. And we have a full list of items that's on our website at mtalumni.com. You can just go on there and it's in the slider. You can just click on it. We have everything from conferences to events to exhibits. And one of the neat things that we've got that was created for the showcase is something from behavioral and health sciences. And I think Dr. Harden and Dean Grandjean and everybody helped put it together. It's really neat. It's called the True Blue Zone Interactive Workshop, and I'm going to drop the link here in the chat so y'all can check it out. But essentially what it is it's an interactive workshop where you learn about the blue zones, which are just pockets of the world where people live a really long time and they're really healthy. And there's a bunch of different ideas of why that is. And so it kind of represents what the Behavioral and Health Sciences College is. So what they'll be doing is they'll be talking about that, talking about how you can incorporate the blue zones into your the concepts into your life, and they'll have different stations set up where you can go visit like the nutrition department, the leisure studies, exercise science, public health, etc. So if you'd like to come, you're welcome to. It's on April 10th. Starts at 5:30. It's in the academic classroom building, which is that beautiful new building that Dean Grandjean's in right now. And it's in room 106. But all that information, of course, is up on that link that I just shared. And you can just you can register or just stop by. It's free. It should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And Dean Grandjean, did you want to go ahead and talk about the scholarship
Absolutely.
dinner? Okay.
Absolutely. But first, just hats off to Dr. Vicki Harden and she's our interim chair in social work for putting together that Blue Zones concept. And we can't wait to showcase that and have people come. It is interactive, so it's not a stand and deliver kind of thing, sage on the stage. This is really interactive, and looking forward to that. As part of the alumni showcase too, the I believe the runway show is part of that from our textiles merchandising and design. That's on April the 12th. So again, tickets are available to that, and that's really something that everybody talks about year round. Then on April the 22nd, for the very first time, our college is going to be putting on a scholarship or scholarships, awards, and student investment night. It's a banquet. It's a celebration of the great things that our students are doing. It's a celebration of donors that have provided money that makes these scholarships available. And it's also a chance to invest in our students. And by that, I mean all the proceeds from this particular event will go to our college's Student Emergency Relief Fund. This is a fantastic fund because it really provides bridge funding for some of our students in which life happens, and some of the things, life events, have the potential to derail them from their progress in their studies and towards graduation. So that sometimes just a little bit of help gets us through those gaps, and so that funding is really designed to do that. Our social work department is actually completing that process. They go through the reviews, but the whole event really is designed to showcase our students, to celebrate our sponsors, and then to provide some of the funding for students that really need it into the future. Our keynote speaker will be MTSU Blue Raider head football coach Derek Mason. So you can't miss that. If you don't get fired up listening to him, we probably need to hit you with a cattle prod or something. I mean, this guy's really good. So come join us. We're going to have a nice dinner. We'll have a keynote speaker, and we'll have some awards to present to students. April the 22nd, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the Student Union Building. Tickets are on sale too, and if you haven't received a link through the Alumni Association or through our development office or through the college, please reach out to Rachel, and we'll definitely send you an invitation. So that's it from our side of things. We really appreciate you eating your PB&Js and hanging out with us for the noon hour. If there are any other questions, we'd be glad to answer them. Otherwise, we just thank you for being here and look forward to the next time.
Thank you so much, Dean Grandjean, and thank you to our faculty and to our student. We're so glad to host this today. This webinar has been recorded, so I will be placing it on mtalumni.com for your reference. And other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. It's a beautiful day outside in Murfreesboro, so
Yay.
awesome. Okay, well, thank you very much.
You all take care. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.